Hello, everyone. Dr. Abe's here. What I'd like to talk to you about this time is the backlash to gay rights and also some of the challenges to being a gay person today. Well, one thing we have to mention is this sort of informal alliance we see between Republicans and some religious groups. And they have joined forces on a variety of issues and supported really this disapproval to gay rights and been really major forces in opposing them at legal levels all around the country. Some examples on the religious side include Catholic Church in 2006 released a statement saying that if you're gay, that your sexuality is disordered. And if you're disordered, that the solution would be to be celibate. Uh, in 2008, the Mormon Church, they financed opposition to an item on California's legislative referendum that year for gay marriage. And so they financed to the tune of several $1 million the ban on gay marriage. And I believe they were successful that particular time. Uh, the Southern Baptists in 2003. The Southern Baptists are well known for their literal interpretation of the Bible in many instances. 2003, they began their national campaign of conversion therapy, which was to convert gay people through religion to becoming heterosexuals. And we certainly know today, through plenty of research, that gay conversion therapy is a complete fraud, and many even consider it uh, traumatic, and that is torture. When it comes to civil rights laws, we don't have a federal law protecting gay people, but we do have a variety of some state laws. But our federal civil rights laws really are, even though they are broad, they're not currently being applied to gay persons, and they are really at odds with the moral stances of many of these conservative religions. And that's what's significant to really try and understand. Why are they taking stances that are so at odds with their moral stances of love thy neighbor and so forth? Um, if you look at the legal side of some of this, private gay sex between consenting adults is still a crime in more than 13 states. And we've had real uneven sort of guidance from the Supreme Court with up and down decisions over the years, some recent ones. In 1983, 86, Supreme Court upheld the state of Georgia's laws that made private gay sex criminal. And then again, they reversed that ruling in that specific case in 2003. And so there has been an up and down from them over time. When we look at anti-gay violence, we see that it's up, well, in one particular period, from 2006 through 2008, it went up 25%. But certainly when we look at today and the last few years, it is definitely on the rise. Hate crimes overall are on the rise, and violence and anti-gay violence in general is considered a hate crime. One of the institutions that really is a bastion of support for the gay community have been, over time, the U.S. colleges and universities, who support, by and large, strongly anti-discrimination laws, and they support the rights of gay people. Um, there are some severe challenges today because we know that stereotypical thinking is so irrational. When we look at work, the truth of the matter is that most gay people are in the closet still. In other words, they're not letting their true sexual identity be publicly known. And so they keep it themselves. That's what being in the closet means, that they're keeping it all secret. And so they tend to look for work situations where they feel safe. And so they may gravitate to smaller companies, not always, but smaller companies. Um, Sometimes they are so frustrated and worried about discrimination that they try to find ways to start their own businesses. But like they gay people sometimes will be looking for smaller companies where they can make a good fit for themselves. Sometimes some corporate cultures will include gay people. Sometimes there are places within the corporate culture where they feel safe. Certain departments are known to be gay ghettos, so to speak, and so forth. So it just depends, but they're always looking for work situations where they do have that feeling of being safe. And there is a myth out there that the workplace itself is asexual, that people don't talk about things like that in their lives at work and so forth. Well, that's simply silly and naive. People talk about the things that happen in their lives. They talk about their dating, they talk about their weddings and their children and so forth. So the myth of the asexual workplace is tied in directly to this notion of a sexual double standard. And so the sexual double standard means that if you're heterosexual, it's okay to talk about your dating and your weddings and your children and all that personal stuff. But if you're a gay person, you generally do not go and talk about your gay relationships and dating and the things that you do. Or if you're married, it depends very much on your particular situation and whether or not you feel safe. So, this notion of an asexual workplace that people just don't talk about these things is absolutely unfounded. And in fact, it is tied to the double sexual standard that it's okay for straight people to talk about their intimate lives, but it's not for gay people. The problem with this is that gay people have to act asexual in order to fit in. So they don't often talk about family or partners and things like that, or they maybe even go so far, and it's been well documented, to create fictitious families and so forth because they may be in the closet and they're keeping these things secret. So we do have companies that are hostile in general to gay people. And we also have those who may have a department or two, like I've mentioned, that are really known as gay ghettos. And so this is what we call a place where gay people can go and feel safe. But even so, they face tremendous discrimination. They're not going to get upward promotion. They may not get horizontal promotion and so forth. These really are overall hostile corporate cultures. And we call this the lavender ceiling. This is not the same as the glass ceiling. The glass ceiling generally applies to women and minorities of all types, but generally, gay people have this same sort of barrier. It just has a different name than, for whatever reason, and ended up calling it the lavender ceiling. Okay, folks, that's all I wanted to talk about this time. I'll talk to you again soon.